Hi guys, you may have noticed two things. Number one, we're shooting all our videos now in 4K resolution.
Yes.
So that's good news. Starting to get a little bit more used to the technology. So from this point forward, all our videos will be in 4K. And we're also starting to mess around with new types of thumbnails. So I downloaded some new software, and I was up to about 1 a.m. last night messing around trying to learn how to have better thumbnails. So that's two big things for our channel.
Yeah, we're moving little by little.
A little bit into the 21st century. So guys, let me know what you think. Think about the resolution of the videos now as compared to the old videos, as well as the thumbnails. Give us some constructive feedback.
Yes.
So next up, this video is specifically about electricity. And also specifically the difference between 220 volt, which is here in the Philippines, and 110 volt, which is in other foreign countries, specifically the US. So we had a local vlogger, Mike and Janet from Mike's Philippines retirement, where we were downtown in Darwin for Fiesta. And he was just having a conversation with me because he knows that we have a couple of 110 outlets and a couple of 110 appliances. So he asked me if I wouldn't mind doing a video about it, because on his channel, he's getting a lot of people that are thinking about coming to the Philippines for vacation or even living here. And they might be in a hotel for a while, or Airbnb, or maybe rent an apartment, maybe in the future build a house. And they have questions about, should I bring my own appliances from the US, or even specifically, should I buy brand new appliances in the US and actually bring them here? So the answer is you can use your 110 appliances, but there's things you need to do, and you do have a couple different options. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot that video to help you guys out a little bit. And then what Mike said he's going to do is link this video onto his channel, so his subscribers can watch this video and hopefully will answer all the questions that they have. So stay tuned. All right guys, so the first item I want to show you is just a very simple portable power adapter and converter. You can get these on Shopee. You can get these on Amazon. You can buy them here. You can buy them in your home country. I happened to buy 2 of these in the US before I actually arrived. So really what this is this is for small items like your laptop or your phone or any small device that's less than 250 watt. So you can look on, say, your razor, your electric razor, and if it says it's 100 watt, this will work for you. So basically, this is something that you can bring on your carry-on if you happen to be just visiting the Philippines for just a month or so. Or if you're going to move here and get an apartment, pick up a couple of these. Again, they're on Amazon. And the name brand is Bestek, B-E-S-T-E-K. So I'll do a little zoom of the item itself. All right, and like I said, I bought 2 of these. And basically how it works is you can take the actual plug and you plug it into a 220 volt outlet in your Airbnb, in your hotel room, or possibly if you're renting a home, you could just plug it in there. You can pick up these little adapters because you can see this is a 2-prong, but some of these do come in 3-prong. And if you have an older apartment or an older hotel, it may only be a 2-prong outlet. So this converts a 3-prong to a 2-prong. You can get these in any hardware store all over the Philippines. They're like $1. I think Wilma and I bought 10 of them just so we have them. But this happens to be a 2-prong, but I still use it. So I plug it in, and then this goes right into a 220 volt outlet anywhere in your hotel room, for an example. Now it converts down to 110 power. So if you have any devices that you brought with you from the US, for example, that's 110 volt, there's an on-off switch, and you have 3 outlets. So you plug it in, it steps down electricity, the volts from 220 to 110, and you will not hurt your appliance. Because if you have a 110 volt appliance and you plug it into 220, obviously it will ruin that appliance. What's also nice about this Bestech, and again, these are all over Amazon, is take a look right here. It has 4 USB outlets as well. So what's really nice about that is to charge a phone or charge a camera or even charge your laptop, if it goes from USB to the device, you can hook up 4 different devices through USB. So this would be for small time use, would be really nice to have with you in your carry-on or your luggage. And again, it's really meant for small devices, 250 watts total or less. We bought 2 of these, and Wilma and I actually have one at each of our nightstands. So our phones, or at least the phone that we brought with us, we use the USB ports and just plug into the phone at night. And then again, if we have any 110 devices, you could just simply plug into that. All right, so next up is, I just want to make sure everyone knows, and I learned this over time, that when you buy devices, especially electronics, look at the label, and I'll do a quick zoom. You're not going to be able to read it, but I just want to show it that on the device you can see some information. And what that does is basically show the type of plug that you need. So what I tried to do is always look for anything that I was going to buy in the US that I was going to bring to the Philippines to be able to be used in both countries. So what it will show is 100 volt / 240 volt. That's what you want to look for. So that means the device that you buy, and this happens to be my laptop charger. So you can see it has a normal 3-prong that would go in any outlet here in the Philippines, as well as any outlet in the United States. So I can plug this into a 110 outlet to charge my laptop, and I can also at the same time plug it into a 220 volt outlet and charge my laptop. And I can do that because the information here on the charger says 100 volt / 240 volt. So it gives you a wide range of options. So I believe 100 volt is in Japan. The US is 110 volt. I got a comment the other day that the UK is 115 volt. Don't know if that's true, but I got a comment on that. Here in the Philippines, it's 220 volt. And then I would imagine in other countries, there's some countries that's 240 volt. So you could use this device in any country without a step down. So Wilma and I always tried, when we bought some devices that we wanted to bring here, we always would look for the device that said 100 / 240. Example, our Wi-Fi, the TP-Link Wi-Fi mesh system that we bought. What we did was we looked and made sure it said 100 / 240 volt. So then I could use that in the US or use it here and not worry about having a step down. So the next question is, why do you need to bring appliances from a foreign country to the US? And that's an individual choice. Wilma and I said that we didn't want to bring anything when it comes to appliances to the Philippines, except for things that we just couldn't find. So Wilma and I visited here several times, and as we went shopping, we looked for different types of appliances that we would want in a home. And if it was here, and if it was a decent name brand, we just said we'll buy it here, even if it was a little more expensive. Because by the time you buy it in the U.S. and then ship it to the Philippines, it's probably going to be the same price or even more to get it here. So that was our thought process. So there was a few items, and I'll use an example of our coffee maker. There's coffee makers here, but I've never seen a Keurig. And Wilma and I love coffee very much, and we wanted to bring a Keurig here. Now that happens to be 110 volt. So we knew that we were going to ship that in a balikbayan box. So we do need at least one outlet in the kitchen to run our Keurig. All my tools. I didn't want a chance coming over here to the Philippines and buying a bunch of drills and saws that are all lithium batteries. I felt more comfortable buying them from Lowe's. I like Cobalt brand. So I bought all new drills and basically every lithium battery tool that they have and brought them over in a balikbayan box as well. And that's also 110. So I put one 110 outlet out in the dirty kitchen where I knew I was going to charge my tools. So it's very much an individual choice. Now, if you're coming just for a vacation, probably that Bestech step down would be enough. But if you're going to be here long term, there actually is another way that you can have 110. So I'll show that to you now. So here's another option, and you can do this a couple different ways. These are the only 110 volt appliances that we brought from the US. The Keurig, I've been all over the Philippines. I've never seen it for sale anywhere. Our NutriBullet, again, probably could order this on Shopee. I don't know if it would come 220 or not. I believe they only come in 110, but I could be wrong, but we brought it from the US. And then, believe it or not, can opener. Can opener is something that I don't think I've seen. It may be here, but again, this was all the reconnaissance that we did as we visited the Philippines over the years. So this was the only 3 devices that we brought. Remember, our goal was to buy everything here and just have everything be 220 because that was easier for us. So basically the rule, as I understand it, explained to us from our electrician, is all 220 volt outlets in hotels, Airbnbs, and then now in our home is horizontal. You can see how we're horizontal here. That's 220. If you have any 110 outlets, they will be vertical. Now, often they'll have a different color plate. And that's smart too if you have a lot of them. But remember, we only have 2 because we only have the need for these 3 appliances. And then out in the dirty kitchen, I have 1 outlet to charge all my tools, my lithium battery tools. So I didn't want to have an orange or a blue or a different color plate here because we know the difference. So again, horizontal for 220, vertical for 110. So we know that these appliances are 110. They get plugged in there. Very, very simple. And you can see we also have, you can plug it in and it makes 6 instead of 2. And that has a surge protector in it. So that is just, some added protection. So how did we accomplish this 110? There's two ways of doing it. And the way we did it, because we didn't need many outlets, is we just buried in the cabinets a step-down transformer. So remember how I said the best tech is 250 watts? This is 3,000 watts. Much bigger device. It's plugged into a 220 outlet that we had our electrician put actually in the cabinet so you don't see it. And then we put the actual step-down transformer inside the cabinets. So now you can shut it, you don't know it's there. So that's how we handled it. It's plugged in and then it's hardwired down to this outlet, and then we just jumped it over to the next outlet. So we just wanted the clean look. We could have very easily just taking this step-down transformer, and I've seen it at other homes where they would just set it here on the counter and then just plug their 110 devices into it. We could have done that. It would have been cheaper. But again, this ugly looking box would be sitting right here or sitting over in the corner. We didn't want that. We wanted to hide it so you don't see it. So it's an automatic voltage regulator. And it's also a step down. So it's pretty simple. You put on the circuit breaker. You can see your 220 volt coming in, and you can see there's nothing going out. So if I turn this on, which is a heating element, so I'm going to say this is 800 to 1,000 watts. These are probably less than 100 watts each. So let's just say this is 12 to 1,300 watts of draw if all three of them are on at one time. 1,300. This can handle 3,000. We should not have a problem. So as these devices come on, this side will go up and you can see how many amps it's actually pulling. So when we're done using these devices, we just simply hit the circuit breaker and it shuts off. When we want to use any of these devices, we do have to hit the circuit breaker. But we wanted the clean look. So you could do it that way, or just simply, if you're in an apartment, you would just buy one of these. They're all over the Philippines. And you could just set it anywhere you want and plug your 110 volt appliance in. So earlier in the video, I was talking about if you have an older, say Airbnb or older house that you're renting, or the hotel room that you're staying at has older electricity, you may not have three prongs. So that's why you buy a bunch of these. So if the device that you're using is three prong and you go to a hotel where there's no third prong, so it just looks like that, you have no choice but to use this. So this will save you. So you can just plug this in, and then you can take your three prongs and put it in there, and you're good to go. So the final option would be for someone who is buying a home and renovating it, or building a home that brought a lot of 110 volt appliances with them, for an example. So in our house, everything here is wired 220. But you could actually, and it would be an expense, to wire your house both 220 and 110 at the same time. So you would have to have an additional panel, additional circuit breakers, and then run wire throughout your house to have 220 and 110 volt outlets throughout your house. So the example here would be, and again, this would be an added expense because in our house, everything is wired 220, so it's horizontal, but each outlet would be vertical next to the 220, and you would have double the conduit. As you guys know, conduit runs up to the ceiling, and then it runs over through the ceiling to the panel. So you would basically have double the conduit, double the wire, and I would imagine double the circuit breaker. So it would be an added cost, but it makes sense if you brought a lot of devices from your home country. All right, everyone, I hope that helps and answers a lot of your questions. Bringing appliances, devices from your home country is very much a personal choice.
It is.
Wilma and I tried not to do it, but there is just some items that you just can't get in the Philippines, or you can get them in the Philippines and they're very, very expensive, and it does make sense to ship them overseas. So again, personal choice. We're very happy with what we did. We have just 2 outlets in the house, one in the kitchen and one in the dirty kitchen, and it satisfies all our needs. So what do you think?
Well, hopefully this will help with a lot of people that have questions about it.
Yeah, especially if you're coming here just for a vacation and your phone, for example, is 110 and you may have a concern about that. It makes a lot of sense. So look at your actual adapter. That's what's very important. A lot of phones and laptops today is dual purpose. You could plug it into a 110 outlet or a 220 outlet and it does not matter. That is the device to buy.
Yeah.
So I think that is really the most important thing to take away. And once we learned that, when we went shopping in the US, we always tried to buy a device like our laptops as well as our Wi-Fi mesh system where it didn't matter. You could just plug it into 110, turn around, plug it into 220, and it just handles the differences. That would be ideal.
Ideal, yes.
But unfortunately, our Keurig, for example, or our lithium battery tools specifically say
110.
yeah, 110, 120 volt,
Yeah.
and you just can't plug it into 220. I would imagine there's a lot of people who didn't know that and came to visit the Philippines and plugged, hopefully not their phone or anything expensive, into an outlet in their hotel room, and that would be like their first experience in the Philippines where they burned up their phone. Boy, I hope that doesn't happen to you. So Mike wanted me to do this video to give you guys just a little information. Again, Wilma and I are not experts, but we've gone through it and we have some experiences. And that's why we like to share the different things that you can do. We could have wired this whole house 110. We could have. But we didn't bring a lot of devices with us.
Yeah, we don't need it.
We didn't need it. We wanted to buy most things from here. So that's why we just did the way we did with a couple of step downs. And I actually have another step down that's 5,000 watt. That's even bigger than the one I have in the kitchen, just for any other devices. Because for example, we brought a standalone LG air conditioner, and that plugs into 110 only. Now, luckily, the ACs that we have in the house handle it, but we didn't know at the time if this large room would be able to handle a standard 3-horse aircon. We found out that it did,
Yeah.
so we don't use it. But we actually did wire in the corner over here by the window, by the big glass panel, an outlet dedicated back to the main panel, 20 amp to handle the aircon. But you would need to have that 5,000 watt because the aircon draws a lot of wattage. So we went ahead and bought just a larger step down, and then we could plug that 110 aircon into that step down and have call supplemental aircon in this room, but we didn't need it.
Yeah, but we did use it a lot in Leyte,
We did.
and also right here in Talay where we were still renting
Yeah.
while building this home, so we did use that a lot.
We did use it for a whole year.
Yeah.
And it was a lifesaver, absolute lifesaver, because the apartment that we rented here in Dumaguete did not have aircon.
Yeah.
So that was one of the first things that we did when the Balikbayan boxes arrived at the apartment. I checked my spreadsheet, found the number of Balikbayan box that had the aircon in it. We opened it right away, got the step down out, hooked it up into a window, and put the exhaust out, plugged it into the 5,000 watt step down, turned it on, and it gave us a nice cool room to be in for the 7 months that it took to build this house. So that's a good point.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
We did have it
we did have it.
available to us. So again, guys, I hope that helps. Comment below what you think, and appreciate you watching the video.